Hello, my beautiful vibration lifters. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to relay this message to you. I want to let you know that we are all on this path together, this path of enlightenment, this path of opening up ourselves to the truth of who we are, to fully understand and embrace the truth of who we are. I'm not claiming that I completely know the truth of who we are. It is too wondrous and grandiose to know. But what I do know is that I am constantly on the path towards it. And the funny thing is that we are all on the path towards it. And that's what I wanted to talk with you tonight about, is that judgment that we have for other people and the way that they live their lives. It is this talk that I must have with myself daily to not judge other people. When I look at the way someone is living their life and I judge it, what I'm doing is not respecting their path to the Most High. All paths will lead to the Most High. Now, judgment comes from an insecurity or a, a belief that the way that you do your life is better. Not realizing that every single spirit that has come here has a blueprint and has things that they want to accomplish. Judgment is not helpful. Discernment is helpful. Discernment allows you to decide what you want to bring into your field of energy. What do you want to give and get? It's the law of correspondence. You get what you give. If you constantly are judging other people, then that is what you're going to get. Truly, I say to you, that reality comes from within, not from without. So the more of what we focus on is the more of what we create in our reality. Using your time here on earth to judge other people for whatever reason is not a productive use of your time. Since every person on this earth, on this planet, has probably lived many different lives and have played so many different roles in other people's lives. So it is important to realize that each person is just playing a role, and that person that you're judging, you probably have been there. As a matter of fact, if you were born looking like that person, with that person's parents, with that person's experiences, you would be that person. So we all have to realize that who the cap fits, let them wear it. What that means is all of us are conscious, and all of us are shaping our reality through this lens of our ego. Therefore, all of us are the same. And we are missing the point if we judge other people. It is really important for us to understand this, because if we're using our energy to judge other people, then we're not using it for love. Love is the most powerful thing in the universe, and love will always guide you home. Love is our innate nature. Love is the vibration of creation. And if we are in that frequency of love, then we uplift ourselves and the planet and the consciousness. So it is important for us to be in the vibration of love and not in judgment. And that means that every person that we see on the street, however they act, however they do, we realize that we would do the same if we were them. Literally, if we were them, not if you were you in their circumstance, but if you were actually them. You grew up in their skin. You grew up with their thoughts. You grew up with their teachings that they've had. And also, we have to realize that we have a lot of things that we need to fix in our own lives that we don't see. There is a scripture that says, you recognize the splinter in your brother's eye, but not the plank in your own. And that is very interesting because that seems to be the case with a lot of us, at least with myself. The things that I judge people for are things that I do myself, whether it's on a smaller scale or a bigger scale. In my mind, it's a smaller scale, but nonetheless, they still do it. That is why I can identify it, and that is why I can criticize it, because I already know what it is. I speak the language. So it is important for us to not judge if we are to live to our fullest potential. Now, there's a difference between judging, and discerning. When you see someone who is a drug addict and stealing and is violent, is just taken over by the spirit world because he's open his crown chakra to all these entities to come in and control him or her. And you see that person living on the street and they're kind of out of their mind and they're smoking whatever they're smoking. You can decide to turn left, not judging that person, but discerning that you don't want to be in that field. Now that is an extreme example, but nonetheless, it illustrates the point. Discernment is important. But discernment is something that we all must be armed with. And it starts with the energy field that we are surrounding ourselves with. If we are in the frequency of love, then love is going to come and attract and come to us. And watch the miracles that happen when you are connected with that frequency of love. The frequency of fear is what the powers that were are trying to keep you in. So remember, stay in the vibration of love. The things that challenge you are the things that are going to help you rise higher than ever before. Because you're choosing to love something that is not easy to love. And that is going to garner you great power and wisdom. Remember, y'all, it's time to reclaim our power. It's time for us to be a collective and lift the vibration of humanity. What we do and how we do that is through love for ourselves. First, falling madly in love with yourself. Suspending judgment, accepting all as part of the Most High, and respecting every soul's path. Every soul is on a path back home, however direct or indirect they might be going. So if you have a sibling or a loved one, some loved one that is on a path that you might deem destructive, don't be a police for their path. That is only going to separate you from them. What they need is love and acceptance, and to be felt like they are still loved, even though they know they're going through a struggling time. They don't love themselves already. So for you to love them will shift. I'm speaking with experience, y'all. I've had friends that were addicts. And I spent a lot of my time trying to tell them how destructive what they're doing was. I've had friends that were gangsters that decided that they want to go the path of getting in the game, selling drugs, and banging. And I would tell them that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why would you want to do that? That doesn't make any sense. You're from Orange County. That's where I was raised, was in Orange County. But yet there were people, if you're from Compton and you had not, your father left you and your mother was on drugs and all you had was the streets, I it is what it is. But if you're from Orange County and we're surfing and skateboarding, and you want to be a gangster. There's something going on. But see, that's the thing. Already you can see my judgment. For those people, my friends that decided to take that route or became addicts, things shifted in our relationship and they started opening up to me more when I started to love them and accept them for who they were, knowing that their path is their path. Once I started to do that, they started opening up to me and they started getting better. And the ones that I couldn't help, I would love them completely and let them go. It's a hard lesson. Yeshua said, "Let the dead bury the dead. Don't cast your jewels to swine." So, many master teachers from Krishna, Buddha, Yeshua, we're all saying the same thing. Protect your sovereignty and your energy. Don't judge that person. They're on a path back to righteousness eventually, but you're on a different path. Your path might be a little straighter. Respect that person, love that person, let them go. Don't spend your time judging them and feeling that you are somehow better, because you're not. Just in a different spot on the road going back home. We're all on the road going back home. Do you judge the person who is a mile further back? No. You do your best to help that person, to guide that person to the point where you are, but they're on the road too. They just keep going straight. They might have chosen a hard life. That is a lesson for us to know, to learn, is that each soul has chosen the obstacles that they are going to face in this lifetime. Be in the frequency of love, y'all. Spend a great majority of your time chanting, "I love you." Letting all other thoughts fall away. Trusting that the universe is going to bring you exactly what you need. The universe and your higher self are always awake and conscious. They are always guiding you to exactly where you want to be, where you need to be. You should not get everything in life that you want. What the ego wants is not what's always best for you. You can fall in love with someone and be completely heartbroken if they decide not to love you. Later to find out that that person is a psychopath. But you were crestfallen at the time that that person rejected you. And it might affect you for years. But if you had actually been with that person, your life would have been much more miserable. That's why we co-create with the Most High. We have an image of what we want our lives to be, at the same time knowing that the Most High has our best wishes and our best intentions in the plan that we have made for ourselves before we came here. So we co-create with the Most High because that's who we are. So grateful for this moment to share with you, to talk a little bit about judgment and discernment, a subject that I need to remind myself about constantly. I have been known as being a very judgmental person. People have called me a judgmental person. That has been my weakness, self-righteous, judgmental. And it's something I continue to struggle with on a daily basis. I have to remind myself, oh, you're being judgmental. And it's not that that is wrong or right. It's just that it is a waste of energy. I could be spending my time being in the frequency of love, because that is way more fortuitous for your life. It brings you more prosperity, more clarity, and it attracts more of what you really desire, what your heart desires. To be in the frequency of judgment is just attaching yourself to something that you don't want and creating a narrative about something that you don't want. So in a way, I guess it's good to know what you don't want. But to judge it and to create some type of hierarchy where you place yourself slightly above, it's a mistake. It's a misnomer. And it's not true. Because we are all the same. Truly, we are all the same. And that is the truth. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you tonight. Let love guide you home. Stay in the frequency of love. I love you so much. Please click the bell button and subscribe. New videos coming. Amazing interviews coming up soon. I want to dive into people's near-death experiences. I want to dive into people's spiritual experiences. People that have touched the other side. I'm really excited to show you guys some of the amazing guests I'm about to have on this channel. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you. I love you. Good night.